right, so we got a little problem here. Got this commercial building in the town where I live, and that's where I have my office. And I have this little alleyway in the back, and what has happened is some of the neighbors put in some fire escapes, which seemingly is a good idea. Obviously to get people off the roof and stuff if there's a fire, good idea. The problem is that this little alleyway is right off a parking lot, and it's nearby a park and a residential area, so lots of kids, instead of using the fire escape to go down, they use it to go up on top of the building and causing a lot of damage up there. You saw the graffiti, and the solution, hopefully, is not to catch these kids. You're just never going to catch them because they can't be here 24/7. So the idea today is to put out a one of those security cameras that hook up to the Wi-Fi and the internet. And this one I got kind of looks like a little light bulb and has an app. So we're going to install that today, and that actually involves running some wire and some electrical conduit out there, etc., etc. And it's a little bit more than you would think in terms of a project. So we'll go over that process and see if this thing works. I did test it a little bit, and the app works pretty good, so I'm pretty confident that the time I'm going to put into this today is going to be okay. But let's take a look at this alleyway real quick. So we're walking down the alley, perfect place for a kid to slip in and hide. They already kind of tore these wires off a little bit, and they're hanging. And turn the corner, an even better place for them to hide. And you have this new ladder here from the neighbor, and then that other big ladder that goes all the way up, pretty high actually, to the taller building on the corner. All of these are commercial buildings and they're connected. So then the kids get up that ladder, and then they climb up on top of the roof, and that's how they get up there. So the idea is we got to drill through this brick here, because this is my building on the right hand side here. So I'll drill through this brick kind of where these wires are coming in, tuck these wires in, secure them a little bit better, and tap in, get some electrical out this way, and then put up a security camera light, and also I wanted to put up a outlet up there. I don't have any electricity on the second floor, so while I have the power coming out here and we're doing all this work anyway, and the tools out, I'm going to put an outlet up there as well. All right, so this is a rotary hammer drill, and we're going to be using a masonry bit on there, and that's what that looks like. And it actually kind of rotates and kind of pulsates in and out if nobody's ever used it. So it's very similar to a regular drill, but obviously operates on different principles. It just slides in like that, and that's about the diameter of the electrical line that I'm going to be running through. This is a commercial application, so you do have to run conduit or have the electrical line protected. You don't have to do that in residential necessarily. You can just use your regular Romex with the plastic on it. So I do have some conduit ready to go. Everything's going to be in boxes and encased, and this should be about the diameter of what I need to get that protected line through there. I have some braided, flexible line to get through there and into the inside. All right, so there's our bit up there, and I like to drill those, especially coming from an outside wall. I like to drill those at an angle, and the reason is that if any moisture were to get in there, and we're going to seal it, but if any moisture were to get in there, it can drain back out and not into the building and not into the conduit. So there's our little bit right there, pretty thick wall. We'll punch that back out and get the wire, the conduit in here. All right, so we're gonna locate our source of the electricity. And in this case, it's a commercial building, got a drop ceiling. And I already went ahead and found it. So this is gonna be the junction box that we're gonna tap into. Already went ahead and removed the cover a little bit. Got this little device here which connects and indicates that there's power going there. So there's our hot and there's our return over there. So we can tap in on this junction box here, there, and then that line actually goes down and it also feeds this outlet. So we know that that's live. So what you do with that is go over to the panel, because obviously, unless you want to do it cowboy style. Okay, so here's the circuit panel. See if that one is it right there. Let's go check it out. Okay, see, nothing's lighting up, nothing's beeping right there. So that's definitely it, because it was beeping. And just in case, if you want to make sure, you can double check on the outlet. And again, no beeping. So that is our little outlet right there that we can tap into. All right, so we ran this flexible line here over to the junction box. Haven't put the cover on because we haven't run power to it yet. And I got that nicely snug up here with zip ties all the way over and over to our hole to the outside. So let's go outside and make the connection out there. All right, so I went ahead and pre-drilled some things here. I ran the wire through here, and this is a commercial building. It's outside, so it has to be through conduit, and made the attachment with 1/2-inch, just regular steel conduit. And I have a mounting box for the light that I went ahead and pre-drilled. I have an entrance hole in the bottom, and then also over on the side here, there's going to be the little exit hole for where the wire comes out for the outlet. So there was actually a pre-drilled bracket here, so I used that bracket as a starter for that hole, and then I went ahead and did four other holes in the corners. So those are that hole, that hole, that hole, and then this one right here was original. So I'll go ahead and mount that on there. That should be nice and secure, mounted there, and then from the other side I'll be able to run the conduit up a little bit higher to the parapet to run some electrical up there. Okay, so here's what the box looks like now. Have a nice conduit coming up through the bottom, the hole cut right through there, and I put it up here a little bit just in case this box does get some water in it. I did drill a tiny weeping hole in that corner, and the box is pitched that way, just a tiny little bit. So if any water does get in this box, hopefully it'll go out that little weeping hole over here and not down my conduit pipe. Certainly wouldn't fill up with water this high. So I did that on purpose. And then I also have my connection over here where we're going to run our 1/2-inch conduit up to our area on top to have just a regular outlet box. So, but obviously it's going to be exterior. So this is where the security thing is going to be mounted. And went ahead off camera and put the tap cons in there, there, and then that was that existing hole down there. So that's what that looks like, and there's the view out the alley and then down the side alley. All right, so we're going to have the electrical box, and it's a metal box. It's a 3-hole, and it takes the 1/2-inch size of the conduit, which we have right here. We'll cut that to length. So what you do is, like, this one has 3 holes, so 1, 2, 3, and it comes with inside these little bungs. So if you do not want to use one or the other of the holes, you can just put those in and you can fill in. And then I like using these little flex right angles. Not really a professional, so the flex gives me a little bit of a flexibility in terms of a little wiggle room in case I mismeasure just by a little bit. So that helps me because I'm just not a professional. But what that will do is that will just go in right to the side there, and we'll have that connect to the top of the conduit above the security box. There we go, nice and prepped, and I'll probably punch out one of those 2 little holes right there so I can, mount it. So I just wanted to add that for up here, I just used some ordinary Romex. I think it's just 12-2, maybe. Yeah, I think 12-2. And you don't need to run that braided or that flex line with the protecting layer on it out here. Because obviously you have the conduit right there. So it was just inside where I didn't really feel like running the conduit inside. I ran that braided protected line on the inside coming out. Okay, well, here's the moment of truth. If this pops, something goes bad. No pop.